Hello and welcome to my track guide for Road Atlanta. We are using Road Atlanta in the first race in the Super Mixed League series now in January 2014, so that's why I'm doing this, and I'm going to go through this as a general guide for the track, not car specific, so it will be usable for all cars, I guess. So you will be coming down the hill here, and fast right-hander leading out on start and finish straight, and of course it's important that you use the width of the track. So after you've gone through this last corner, you position your car over to the left and stay as far over to the left as you can. Don't hit the grass, and here you have brake markers 300, 200, 100. In this car I brake at the end of the wall here, and I start easing into the turn a little bit first so that the car have time to settle down, and then I start turning in. And you can cut the corner here a little bit, not too much because it will upset the balance, and go on throttle before the apex so that you get a good push up the hill. From here on I go for the middle of the track, and then I try to go over to the right side, and there's a lamppost turning up here straight ahead. Oh, it's gone now because I lowered the graphics settings, but okay, roughly in this direction. There is a big tree there on the right side, so the left part of that big tree is good to aim at. Then turning in and start looking for, it's difficult to find exactly when to start turning in. You have to kind of get the feel for it, practice and practice. There is no good turn in marker really, but when I start turning in, there is some trees there. First is this small building right in front of my steering wheel now. Then there is one larger tree there, dark, and then there is another dark tree, and then there is one that is a little bit lighter. That one I keep an eye on. Here you can cut a little bit. You can have the tire on the grass here without getting an off track like this, and there is a white line here over the track. Let's see, where is that? There it is. I start braking with this car a little bit before that white line. It's good to keep an eye on, you know roughly where you are. With faster cars you will have to start braking at the beginning of the curb over here, but try to get this line towards this lighter green tree, because then you will get a straight line, so you can brake in a straight line, which is important. So on brakes and downshift, and you start turning in. Here you can also cut some, but it's quite a high curb here, so this car absorbs the curb well, but other cars don't. So just find out what works for your car, and from this position you need to start accelerating. This is for many cars full throttle acceleration all the way down to the left-hander going up the hill. So try to go on throttle early here, and if you can't go full throttle, that's okay, just add some throttle. It will also add stability to your car. Stay hard to the left here. Try to not glide out too far here, so that you can come back to the left side to prepare for this right-hander. And this S combination coming up here, you can cut these corners a lot. If you have a car that can go over the curbs, you can cut like this, half car on of the car on the inside, and you can cut this one like this, still no off track, and you can cut this one like this. But here you also need to start braking, and that is difficult to do when you have the wheels on the curbs, so you should avoid that depending on what car you're in. So here you start braking alongside the curb, and try to get the turn so that you can start going on throttle at around here. You need to be on throttle all the way up the hill. This is an important corner. Acceleration up the hill, the more uphill it is and the longer the straight, the more important it is to get on throttle early. Here you can glide out, you can go all the way over to around here. Don't hit the sand patch on the inside, then you will get an off track. And there is also a little sand patch sticking out the corner here. Don't hit that, that will give you an off track. So tires on tarmac for that corner. Next right-hander, I start braking at around the 200 marker there with this car. Turning in and go on throttle. This is a corner where you can gain a lot of time. You can cut this corner also some. You can have the tires on the gravel on the inside. And for this corner, it's very often that drivers start braking too late here, and therefore they overshoot the next right-hander, and then they lose an awful lot of time on the long straight here on the backside. So make sure you get your speed down early enough. It's better to start easing into the brakes, reducing the speed gradually. You maybe lose a tenth or two, but you will gain that on the straight if you have trouble hitting this corner right. So make sure you slow down. I start turning in here roughly a little bit before the end of the curve here. And this corner, if you have a car that can manage it, you can cut this corner quite hard without getting an off track. And same thing here, go on throttle before the apex. If you can't go on throttle before the apex, you're not having the right line through that bend. Then it's full throttle. So, same as usual, position your car far way over to the right to use the width of the track. Here you have good markers to brake for, use for braking markers. You have a 100 marker here, and you have 200 marker that we just passed. And with this car I brake roughly a little bit before the 100 meter marker, or the big dark sign here. Use the width of the track and keep an eye on the curbs, because the curb here is a good turn-in marker. A little bit before the end of the curb, around here, you start to turn in. And this S combination, also very important. You can cut this corner some, but don't cut it with a too early apex, because the acceleration for the straight starts here. From this position you need to start be on throttle, and that means that you have to be far over to the left when you have gone through the left-hander of this S combination. So this is the position you're aiming for. And same thing as always, going on throttle does not mean full throttle, it means some throttle. So start going on throttle. That only adding some throttle can save you many tenths going up the hill here. Do not hit the gravel here on the left side. That will most likely cause you to spin. And you see this under the Suzuki sign, there is yellow, red, white marker or a sign or whatever it is. I use that to aim for. So I go straight under that, like this. And then start turning over the crest a little bit. And I go out to the left side to use the width of the track. And start turning in early. I just ease into the bend a little bit, start indicating the turn so the car have time to settle. And this curb on the inside has kind of two extra bends or knees, or whatever you should call it. Right in front of me here is one, and the next one is here. This is the one I aim for there. So I try to cut this a little bit like this. It will not give you an off track, and then glide out. So a lot of things to take in, so I'm gonna do this with a little bit of a pace. So use the width of the track, ease into the brakes, start accelerating before the apex to get a good push up the hill. Aim for that tree, turn left, aim for the brighter green one, through the bend on throttle, and on the throttle all the way through. And you can just keep accelerating, and you can cut this corner, and you can cut that corner, and brake alongside the curb and on throttle before this apex. Use the width of the track on the brakes, turn in, on throttle again, start braking early enough, on throttle before the apex. Same thing for the end of the straight here. Use the width of the track and start turning in a little bit before the end of the curb on the right side. And go on throttle all through the S combination, or the right hander at the end of the S combination. Aim for the sign, use the width of the track. And you're back. So not a fast lap, just to give you some kind of feel. I'm gonna also add a little bit quicker lap so that you get a sense of what it's like in a good speed. Thanks for watching. So showing the lap from this view first, using the width of the track and braking quite early here so we can go on throttle before the apex. Braking and on throttle there and accelerating up the hill. Position the car far over to the right. There is a lamppost I'm aiming for. There you see it. Then turn in and aim for the lighter green tree. Braking a straight line, hitting the apex, going on throttle early. Staying to the left on the exits here so you have a good line into the next right-hander. And I missed the apex here with about 3 feet. Braking in a straight line along the curb on the right side. And going on throttle early to get a good push up the hill. Use the width of the track. Braking and going into the corner, adding throttle as we go through the corner. And braking early here to get the speed down so we can get a nice smooth line and early acceleration out of this bend. And also using the full width of the track, never ever forget that. Long straight, just keep it floored. And position the car far over to the right. Brake and turn in a little bit before the curb on the right side ends. There. Get on throttle early. And have a good push all through the right-hander up the hill. Position the car far over to the left. Cut the corner a little bit. I just managed not to get an off track there. Okay, let's get it from inside the car also. Okay, inside the car, cutting the last corner here. Braking and going on throttle before the apex. So on throttle there. And a good push up the hill. Aim for the lamppost, there it is, and then turn in and aim for the green, lighter green tree, there it is. Brake in a straight line, go on throttle as you pass the apex, stay to the left through this bend, turn in, full throttle, and brake in a straight line along the curb, on throttle early, up the hill, use the width of the track, don't hit the sand patches. Brake, turn in, go on throttle before the apex so that you have a good push. Be careful in the turn in, go on throttle early, get a good nice acceleration out on the straight. Most important corner of the whole track. Long straight and also going uphill. The more uphill and the longer the straight, the more important the corner before that is. So here we will be braking, staying far over to the right, turning in right before the curb ends. So brake, stay to the right, turn in, going on throttle there, just before the apex, and a good push all through the combination. Aiming for the sign under the Suzuki sign, go over to the left, turn in, hit the apex, and I just escaped the off track there, barely. Okay guys, thanks for watching.